Hi, are you struggling to convert webinar leads into booked calls? Give me the next 5 minutes and I'm going to walk you through this one pager. It is the webinar conversion trigger playbook, and I'm going to show you 3 crucial conversion triggers that will double your conversions. And for those who don't know me, my name is Spini Matharu. I am the founder of the Limitless Coach Success Formula, where I've been working with nearly 1,000 female coaches, consultants, healers, and therapists, showing them how to create powerful converting webinar funnels and helping them to simplify, systematize, and scale their businesses. Now, many female entrepreneurs actually struggle with converting their webinar leads into booked calls because they constantly start over, because they teach too much inside of their webinar and they lack a clear pathway that lead the prospects from cold to hot leads who are then ready to work with them, because this has to happen in a very short space of time and has to be a very strategic way to do this. And most importantly, they often fail to address objections effectively and plant seeds in attendees' minds that they want to work with them. So what happens is, a lot of the times my clients actually think that the solution is that they need to swap over their offer. So they swap and change, but that's not really their real problem. That's what I found when I did an audit, because the real problem is, or the problem they create for themselves when they are changing up the offer, is that they can't measure the conversions anymore because they think something's wrong with the offer rather than the conversion triggers. And most of the time it really isn't the offer, it's more the messaging throughout the webinar. So what happens is, when they're changing up the offer, they're changing up the webinar, they're starting over and over again. And it's this sort of infinite loop of never really getting to anywhere. Okay, so I want to help you stop this. So what you need is a super clear pathway to lead people from cold. Obviously, when they come into your webinar, they're potentially cold leads. They don't know you, they don't like you yet, they don't trust you yet, right? You want them to feel, obviously, that you are the person who can help them, and you want them to actually take action. So there's 3 things you will need to actually make a successful bridge between them listening to information and them getting them on a call and ready to work with you. So I call them the conversion triggers, and there is a bunch of them that I teach inside my paid programs. I usually just share these actually inside my high paying to my high paying clients, because it really is the secret sauce. But what I've done is I've pulled out the 3 most important conversion triggers, and I want to share them with you right now. So let's dive right in. What are the 3 crucial triggers? So firstly, and these are things, just to let you know, just to position this, these are the things that we need to actually seed throughout the webinar. Because number one, we want to keep our prospects watching, because if they don't even watch to the end, obviously they're not even going to get to the call to action. So that's another problem that my clients have, is that people are actually not hooked into the webinar and they're not watching to the end. Secondly, they also want to feel that they're being heard and understood as well. So they need to think, oh my gosh, she's in my head, she's amazing, she exactly understands where I'm at right now, and I believe she can help me. So you want to actually address what they are thinking. And number 3, you want to inspire them to make that move, take that courage, and book a call, or whatever call to action you have in your webinar to come and purchase your program. You want to inspire them. You don't want to force them or putting in sort of fake scarcity and things like that, right? So these are the main 3 things. So this is the reason why I've pulled out these 3 particular conversion triggers. So number 1, as I already said, you want them to feel understood. So one of the things is want to handle objections and also address potentially limiting beliefs, right? Every one of us has some sort of limiting belief that maybe we can't do this, or it works for others, it doesn't work for me. Maybe they think, well, I don't deserve this, or I don't have the money. All these kinds of things are just objections that are floating around in their heads. So think about, what are the objections that your ideal client has? And this is nothing to do with the niche. It doesn't matter whether you are working with other business coaches, whether you're a relationship coach, whether you are a career coach, a healer, therapist. As I said, I've been working with so many different niches, and we all have similar things. There's a red thread, and you need to think for yourself, what are the objections? Maybe people have already tried something and didn't work for them. So think about those. Then underline this with proof or testimonials. So if you've done some work in the past where you have proven this is working, or maybe you're just starting out, and that's fine. Maybe you've proven this to work on yourself. You can talk about this, seed in that story, and then dispel the myth and any misconceptions that are out there, right? So that's how you make them feel heard and understood. And you hook them into the webinar because you're going to seed in those kinds of conversations already early on. The second trigger is the mental shifts around fears and concerns. Now, we want to, again, it's just following on, it's building on number one, which is the objections. Now, we need to brainstorm, what are their deep rooted fears? Why haven't they taken action before? Or have they taken action, but they didn't succeed? What was it there? Maybe they are now afraid to take action again. So we need to bring that to the forefront, and we need to help them reframe those fears and turn them into opportunities. And then we can also do this by, the way we shape our offers, to think through, how do we make sure that people are succeeding in our programs? Is there some tailored support, or are there some guarantees that we can make as well? And then number three, remind them of their pain and their why. So this is inspire them to move and take action. They need to be reminded of their pain points as to where are they right now and where do they want to go, and why do they want to go to where they want to go. Again, we can do this by sharing relatable stories. We want to reconnect them with their own dreams, and then highlight also the consequences of inaction. So there you have it, the 3 conversion triggers. And I've got a little worksheet here for you attached that you can just download, and perhaps you can just do a bit of a brainstorm and work on that, and then, yeah, just add them to your webinar. Just amend your webinar and make sure you address these triggers. And if you have any other other things that you want to discuss, or you think, oh my gosh, actually, I don't know exactly why my webinar is not working, or can you help me put those conversion triggers in place? Or if there's anything else you want to know about webinars, then do book a call with me. I'll be very happy to do a live demo with you. I can share with you how my webinar funnel actually looks, because obviously the webinar itself, the content, that's one thing, but then there's other phases around the webinar, which is actually filling the webinar in the first place and getting people to come and see it, and how this whole chain actually works so that we can optimize what we're doing in our businesses. I'd be very happy to have a look at your webinar and maybe do a small audit around it and just open up the conversation. You're very, very welcome to just book a call with me, and we can have a chat. I'll leave a link for you in this document as well. But just know, the webinars that I run and the way I run them actually gives me 60.49%, as here underneath. I did a bit of a screenshot. Over 60% of people show up to the webinar and watch to the end. That is huge, because when you think of industry average, maybe Usually it's like 20, 30% that come to a webinar. So I already have double the people showing up to the webinar in the first place. And then it's about 12 odd percent that actually watch the replay. That's kind of, yeah, again, it's kind of normal. But I'm more interested when people actually come to the webinar, they watch it live. I also run evergreen webinars, so I can also help with that and have a look at that, because obviously we want to scale. We want to not having to do live webinars every week. So there's another chance for you as well to optimize and to scale. And the more people that actually come onto the webinar, the higher the conversions at the end. And with these conversion triggers, actually, it's going to help you get more calls booked. So overall, on my webinars, I've got 60 people showing up. And then that means I also have double the amount of leads that will come into my call. And I also can double through my conversion triggers. So I'm almost like 4xing the industry standard with all the little optimizations I've put in place. Okay, so yeah, I look forward to connecting with you further, and hope this was a useful little introduction and something that you can take away straight away and implement.